So, I've recently been watching a lot of classic action movies of the late 80s, and of course Arnie the Arnold Schwarzenegger leapt to mind as one of the icons of the action movie genre. I sat down, therefore, salty nuts in hand, to eat, not fondle, and ingested as much as I could. These movies still hold up today, and it got me thinking, hey me, I said to myself, me, how about playing some Commodore 64 Arnie games? And so I did. And so decided, well, if I'm going to play them, let's review them. And so I did, and here it is. And so let's start with the classic Terminator 2. Now, the movie itself is a masterpiece of classic film noir / action / sci-fi tech horror, and there are a plethora of scenes to choose from, which I figured would make it into a great game. We have scenes like these which make for great action video game stages. So a game based on the movie would be great, right? Wrong. Let's take a look at it. Booting up the game, we get a fairly faithful-ish title screen to the movie and a remix of the original theme music. So far, so good. And so we start with level 1, and this is it. I'm guessing it's based on this scene from the movie where John Connor starts to be tracked by the Terminator, whose mission is to dispose of him. It's faithful to the movie, and that we're clearly in an arcade, and playing as the hero's robotic sidekick, you have to dispose of the, let's just call him the bad Terminator, by punching and kicking the living shite out of him. But what happened to all fun with guns here? I want to play as Arnie, a classic action hero badass with a shotgun, not to have a minor rumble flailing around with my limbs about the place. Anyway, this is a boring and frustrating level. I figured out the best way is to use this silly looking block move and try and land a few hits in just after the bad Terminator strikes you. Boring and uninspired so far. I kind of worked out though, if you block, let him hit, and then hit a few times, he'll eventually go down. Wash, rinse, repeat. So far, not so good. Level 2 broadly is based on this scene from the movie, and I agree it's a good scene to base a level on. But what on earth is going on here? No weapons, the fire button does absolutely nothing, that I can tell anyway, and it's kind of like playing an old Atari game, in the obstacles. Like the first level, you're given no help or directions, just figure it out for yourself man, and learn the patterns of the obstacles. This is not Terminator. This is an avoid the things on the screen until you get to the end kind of thing. Anyways, in this game like any other I've played, you only get one life. One life. Now that doesn't sound too harsh, but the thing is this is no easy game, so you're going to have to put the work in and hone those skills down. Me? It was just too boring to be honest to keep on repeating the same levels again and again. I mean, look at level 1. Level 1, that's the shop window. That should be the level that gets you hooked and want to play the game. But no, it's just a bland button masher. And this level is not much better. And so I cheated. Life is too short to spend hours mastering this poppycock, and so we're on to level 3 now. Level 3 is, oh for fuck's sake, what is this shite? Okay, turns out it's a puzzle game. Yay! Now that's what I call recapturing the movie experience. So as far as I can work out, you have to move the pieces into place and repair your character's hand. Yeah, I'm glad I had the cheat mode on so we can skip this BS. On to level 4, and I already feel my neurons are starting to decay in my brain sac. So this level recreates another significant scene in the movie, and so it gets brownie points for that one. Here you play as Sarah Connor and need to escape from the mental hospital in order not to be in there anymore. So you get to run around a bit, but armed with only a police baton, so you're severely underpowered. It's a maze level basically where you need to kill the guards, which is jerky and unsatisfying, and then you go through random lift doors until you eventually find your way out. To be fair, it didn't take me that long to do. In fact, bear in mind that what you're watching, and have been since level 2, is the very first time that I'm playing this. So nice to see it follow the movie script to some extent, but really, another uninspiring, dull level. The thing is, the gameplay is the problem. Hitting people is jerky and not very satisfying. You don't get immersed in the game and can't help but wonder if you should be doing any other activity instead. I don't know, like clipping toenails, or painstakingly trying to figure out how to recycle your rubbish in a way that the bin man will actually not castigate you for. Level 5 and you're now Arnie again in the same hospital, and well, besides the obvious visual differences, you have another fight with the bad Terminator, and you go through exactly the same motions and gameplay as in level 1. That's just fantastic. Level 6, I'm now starting to notice there's no music in this game. I mean, there's this background atmospheric hum, but it never really changes. I think I'm overthinking things now. Just need to get to the end of this thing. And so, guess what? It's another damn puzzle again. This time it's one of those slide the squares debacles to make the picture, and although I'm trying hard for this video, it's just irritating. In the end, I just wait for the timer to end. Good, now let's move on. Level 7. We're less than 20 minutes in at this juncture. That's right, from starting the game at the beginning all the way through to the penultimate level, it's been less than 20 minutes. Now, granted I'm using a cheat code, but that only gives me unlimited health, so even without a cheat code you'd still be right here, right close to the end of game, just over 15-minute mark. That's absolute nonsense. And so yeah, this is another recycled level. This time recycling the hospital level gameplay but adding guns instead. Well, it's nice to finally have a gun after 6 levels, although it doesn't seem to have a very accurate hit ratio. In this level you just run around looking for the exit and shooting people, which despite being straight in front of you seems very hit and miss, until finally you shoot them all down and randomly find the exit. Goody gumdrops. Level 8 is another driving level, only this time you're in an armoured vehicle. It took me a few minutes to work out. You do actually have a gun which is controlled awkwardly by a crosshair as you drive up and down the screen. No worse or better than any other level, but we've got to go through the motions to finish this thing. And finally you get to the last level, and again, well, I'll be damned. It's level 1 yet again, only this time you have to keep hitting the Terminator until he falls into the hot lava. Whoopee Scooby-Doo. So after button mashing and applying my newly acquired skills from level 1, it's finally over with a complete game finish time of under 25 minutes. That's not level 1, that's the whole game in under 25 minutes. Now, let's also bear in mind that this was the first time I played through this game, and it took me under 25 minutes. Man, that's some good value for money right there. Now bear in mind, this game was mostly sold as a cartridge, and would have cost around £20 in 1990. I worked out that by today's prices that would be just under 50 quids, for a game completable in less than a Christmas episode of Bread. Yeah, I went there. I rest my case and my joystick.
Making bread out of nothing but air. Riding high, the head in the ground. That's the penny, but this in the pound. Doesn't matter, 'cause we'll soon turn it around. Soon as we get home, we make it and we take it home. Nothing's gonna break it home.